Hey, what it do? This your boy Tony ToteBag, and this is Culture Topics. Yes, sir. What it do, Dallas? H-Town, what's up? Austin, you feel me? You dig? Funky Town, what's up? We got something that I wanted to touch on today that's near and dear to most of our hearts out here. And that is how did the United States gain control over Mexico and pretty much create this whole fiasco, for lack of better words. So we're going to take a deep dive into what really happened and what are the details that led up to Mexico being pretty much stripped of its land. So we're going to take a look at that. So first of all, we got to understand that there was a war between the United States of America and Mexico. We were not the United States at the time, but we were, America. I don't think all of the states had came together at that time, but that's neither here nor there. The United States, actually we were. So we were the United States. The United States gained control over Mexican territory through the Mexican-American War. And this war lasted between 1846 and 1848. So that's roughly 2 years that America and Mexico were fighting. And then there was a treaty, and the treaty was called Guadalupe Hidalgo. I guess that was after all of the fighting was done. But the war was fought over a dispute about the location of the Texas-Mexico border. And the U.S. won, and a series of victories against the Mexican army pretty much led to a lot of territory being gained by the United States. And I'm going to read a few things now, a few excerpts. Okay, the causes. Texas annexation. In 1845, the U.S. annexed Texas, which had won independence from Mexico and Texas in the Texas Revolution. So pretty much what they're saying is Mexico and Texas were fighting and we won. But basically, in reality, Mexico is like, hey, this is ours. But, that's just a little side note. So the border dispute, the U.S. and Mexico disagreed over whether the Texas border was at the Nuance River or the Rio Grande. The idea that the U.S. had the right to expand to the Pacific Ocean, I guess we wanted to get, have a little bit more territory and gain a little bit more foothold. But this is what happened. The outcome was the U.S. gained more than 500,000 square miles of Mexican territory. Now check this one out. Now this is what blowed my mind when I found this out. Okay, all right. Now y'all ready for this? This is crazy. The U.S. gained California 1, Nevada 2, Utah 3, parts of Arizona 4, New Mexico 5, Oklahoma 6, Colorado 7, Wyoming 8. Mexico gave up all of Texas, including the disputed border area, which pretty much started this whole thing. I'm gonna say that again. Mexico gave up all of Texas, including the disputed border area. So, I guess for speaking up for yourself, this is what happens. So this is crazy. Mexico succeeded. They pretty much gave the land in exchange for $15 million, and the U.S. assuming Mexican debts to Americans. So I guess to clean this up, because that doesn't make sense. So I guess to clean it up, You know, someone said, hey, here's a couple of dollars, and you know, if you owe us anything, we'll take care of it. Because that's basically what that means when they say that Mexico, I don't really know how to say that word, seceded the land in exchange for 15 million, and the U.S. assuming Mexican debts to Americans. Excuse me. Those were 8 states that were stripped from Mexico, and they're claiming that it was in exchange for $15 million, which I know back in those times, as far as the 1800s, 15 million was probably like triple or maybe quadruple the amount that it is now. So maybe it did seem like a good idea at the time, but fast forward and look what we have. You know, you're pretty much like, hey man, I wish I would have kept those 8 states. You can have this $15 million back. And okay, and the treaty was approved by the U.S. Congress on March 10th, 1848. So I know I was a little long-winded on that. This is a test run, but this is what happens. Now I can go a little bit deeper, but I won't, because I'm pretty sure you're gonna want to know the gory details, and it's pretty gory of how we took control over places once we did win those battles. Because you have to win battles of, like back then you had to win battles in order to win the war. So if you win so many battles, the other side is pretty much defeated and you've won the war. So pretty much, you know, we were kicking ass and taking names and going from place to place and just really doing some damage, like you know how, you know, people can do once they're winning. So we'll get into that later, if we get into that at all. I just wanted to touch on this. Thank you and good night.